on your lives.
What that means.
That's who's to blame. And a pink person or red or what did you just call yourself?
Yeah, I said pink, flesh toned, whatever.
I'm not. I'm just repeating his own words, folks. I'm
No,
not.
it happens. It happens.
Discriminatory.
We all have our crosses to bear.
Thanks for being patient. We are still waiting on Drewilla, and I am gonna give him a lot of shit when he gets here. And it's partially my fault for inviting him last minute to come do it in person. But that's how much we love this guy. So
yeah, Drew's the best.
He's gonna be a lot of fun and be worth the wait. So since we are waiting on the guests, Terry, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. It was a rough. What's that?
What'd you do for V-Day?
I was gonna get to that. It was a rough week before that, but it was a nice weekend, and I went to a nice French restaurant. As anybody who knows me knows that I love cooking. I love food. When it's done well and done right. So went and had some frogua and some escargot and some
bougie.
Yeah, bougie. Yeah, well, not bougie, but just Parisian.
Well, Parisian is like that's bougie. That's a given, right?
It isn't. It really isn't, in my opinion. They know. Look, they've been cooking a long time, probably 10 times longer than this country has. So, just by the age of theirs. So it was nice to get out, have some good food, and some good wine, and just relax and have a day off. That was great. And the lady was satisfied several times, so that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Shandy sit in for Drewilla until he gets here.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody welcome Shandy then.
This is one of my best friends, Shandy Wintner, and she's amazing. I would love to have her on to talk about some mental health stuff soon. She's in school.
I love my mental health.
But I'm sorry to cut you off, Terry. I didn't mean that. I just brought.
No, you didn't. I queued you up. You were fine.
Yeah. My weekend was okay. I had a Zoom show on Friday, which was a lot of fun, and then Saturday work. I got that business, and then Sunday I did my hair because I have no boyfriend, so it's fine. I'm so used to it.
It's better. It's better alone. Trust me.
Did you not have fun for Valentine's Day? Is that what you did?
No. Let's see. I didn't really do much for Valentine's Day. Boyfriend wasn't feeling well. It's not COVID. It's not COVID. Everyone. Just.
Did he get a test? Do you know? No, I'm just
no,
I just always love shit.
So my Valentine's Day was not fun. I want to do a redo Valentine's Day, me and Gio.
Okay.
Does he have a fever? That's the main thing.
There's no fever.
I know where I want to go.
Physical issue.
I want to go get those crab legs at Crafty Crab. Free.
Yeah, you guys should do a Galentine's Day.
I need a Galentine's Day because mine got ruined.
So we're gonna have you sit in for the first blame, or until Drew gets here anyway.
Drewilla.
Yes, late Drewilla, Haitian Drew. But so what I've noticed is that we all know now that our president was acquitted from his second impeachment. Politicians are just so reluctant to impeach presidents now. Who's to blame? Because they did it before, and this was, I feel like, two clear cases where they should have.
They didn't really impeach anybody. Like, they impeached Clinton, but he got acquitted too.
That's what I'm saying. But
yeah, like they've never removed a president from office.
Nixon just resigned, or I thought he was impeached.
No, Nixon resigned before he could be removed from office. They probably would have removed him from office if he would have fought. Like, if he would have pulled the Trump thing and said, "I'm going to stay in office until you make me leave," they probably would have removed him. There was enough evidence, and
because oddly they had more sense back then.
Well, it was a saner time in politics where everybody could agree on the facts and just say, well, there's enough evidence here to convict, so we have to convict. Nowadays, you can literally have the president of the United States inside insurrection right there on national television, and everybody watched it. I watched the whole thing from start to finish. So yeah, you didn't need evidence. You didn't need witnesses. We all watched it. We all saw it.
What's even more interesting to me about this, Terry, and Shandy, is that the people that the insurrectionists were going after fucking acquitted him.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think that is, Shandy?
Politics.
Do you
think
who wants to be the one to do that? I mean, I just don't.
You think it's just partisan?
Shandy hit the nail on the head. We don't remove presidents from office because no party wants to be the first one. Because we've never removed a president from office forcibly like that.
I thought there's been at least one back in the day.
Never.
I think you would be ready to pull the trigger a lot faster than everyone else.
I mean,
nobody wants, the Democrats don't want to be the first one. The Republicans don't want to be the first one.
I mean, you can't really remove him by impeaching him now because he's out. But still, I think that, I don't know. I feel like this is what I feel like. Partially, they identify with the crookedness of it all, and they don't want to be that guy in that seat.
Well, you know what it is? There's no benefit. There's no benefit for them to convict him. There's a benefit for them to acquit him because then they can go back to Trump and say, well, I voted for you. I voted to acquit you. So tell your base to keep me in office. Tell your base to vote for me. There's a benefit there. But the only benefit they have to convicting him is by a moral benefit, by saying that you did something wrong and you need to be punished. And unfortunately, there is no morality in politics anymore. There just isn't.
Yeah, no one really wants to make those moral calls.
Nope.
I mean people do want to make those moral calls.
Maybe Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is the only one.
All the Democrats made it. All the Democrats made it.
But that's their side. They're voting for their side. For a Republican to vote to
that's unfair.
Trump would be.
It's like you're voting for their side, but it's not. There's a right side here, okay? Period. So I don't know.
It should be the moral side. It should be the moral side about what's right and what's wrong, and that's it. And there should be consequences to actions. But unfortunately, in this case, there just aren't because no Republicans want to turn against their own party because they know they'll get lambasted.
Getting their hands dirty.
Do either of you think that they think that what he did just wasn't that bad? Like, I mean, people stormed the Capitol and took some property and stole some stuff and killed some people, but do you think that they think it wasn't that bad?
There's some.
They know.
No, there's some that they know it's bad, and there's some that know it's bad, but there are some that totally agree. There are some that totally agree with. I don't think they agree with the breaking in, stealing shit and all that, but I think they totally agree. And they showed that on the 6th when they still, even after the insurrection, they still voted to throw out the ballots for millions of people because it's not about right and wrong anymore. It's not about what's right and wrong. It's about what's right for my party. It's about right and left. That's it.
I mean, I don't know why, because I know how politics is. Mitch McConnell's been around a while, but it's disappointing. And I mean, I did want to see a conviction, but I'm not as surprised that, I'm not surprised.
I think people want to move their careers ahead more than doing the moral thing.
They were trying to kill y'all. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? So
apparently there are no more lines anymore. It's going to take another 9/11 to bring us back together. That's what it's going to take.
That's really sad, and I kind of believe that too.
Was that not like
anybody who was alive? Anybody who was alive back then after after the Bush and Gore election, with all the heated conversations that went back then, if it wasn't for 9/11, we wouldn't have united again. But then all of a sudden, some outsider attacks us and you can't buy an American flag anymore. They're all on back order because everybody's united again. Democrats, Republicans, left, right, conservative, liberal, didn't matter. We had a bigger enemy to face. The next enemy that we have that's going to unite us it's going to have to be like aliens. It's going to have to be like Independence Day or something. You know, we're going to have to unite like that, because this is broken now. And I just don't know how it's going to get fixed.
So, well, we'll see what Biden has in store for us all. Speaking of Biden, I was observing some stuff on Facebook this week, and there was a storage container of immigrants that was trapped, right? The immigrants were trapped inside. I go on to the news story and read this comment. Pretty sickening. Congratulations, Creepy Joe. First you built the cages and lied about it. Now your words, right words, have mean you are in charge. Have killed and brought these people over the border. So, like, they're still outraged about illegal immigration, but the story you sent me is telling me that legal immigration is being sped up, right? So the thing is, people just don't care if immigration is legal. They don't.
They just don't like immigrants. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say you don't like immigrants. Say that people from weird countries make you uncomfortable. Just say it. Like, I don't get it.
I need a person from a weird country to walk in anytime now. But
yeah, I don't get what the policies are here. Like, because I hear conservatives say, look, I am totally about legal immigration. I'm totally supportive of it. But then they go out and they, chastise asylum seekers. That's legal immigration. We have an asylum policy. Like, that's completely legal.
They simply don't care. And it's not only the xenophobia. I feel like maybe
it's a shame, because if I had to seek asylum because something was happening here, I would hope I could.
But you can't in a lot of places because they don't have that same policy. That's what makes America great.
Well, that's true.
But at the same time, it's like they chastise these people because they're literally running for their lives, and we would rather turn them back and send them to their death than.
The thing is, for me, it started off as like an economic argument. Like, it was about jobs. Like, that was the big thing with Black folks. Now Black folks have been incorporated into the workforce. Now who do we turn our attention to? It's the immigrants, right? And not only that, but the media has played that fight up and now has intertwined the xenophobia with it. And you just got full on, just like, they don't care if it's legal immigration or illegal immigration. If you're a legal immigrant, you're illegal immigrant to them,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, the funny thing about it is, if you would just say, I don't want immigrants coming into the country because I don't want them stealing my jobs, or I think they're weird, or they don't speak English, or whatever, that would be a valid argument. You know what I mean? Like, you could actually debate that. But when they try to wrap it in this semi-wokeness, like, no, immigration's great, but just the legal way. But then they don't even know the legality of it. Like, you can't argue with it because it's just stupid. Like, you're arguing with ignorance.
You're just saying you don't want immigrants at all. But and then if you ask those
people, that's an argument. That's an argument to be made.
But if you make that argument, my next question is going to be, do you care what countries they come from? Because, that was the thing about this whole immigration thing. Like, there was some Mercedes-Benz exec that, he just was treated different with his immigration issue rather than a brown person that's waiting at the border,
Why do we have to go to that level? Why can't we just talk about the former first lady and her family? President Trump came out and said, we got to stop this chain migration. It's chain migration. First, one person comes to the country, and then they sponsor their family, and then their family comes. Well, guess who sponsored Melania Trump's parents? Donald Trump. That's who sponsored Melania's parents to come to this country and get citizenship as chain migration. I mean, come on, man. It's black and white.
Legal also. So that is legal.
Yeah, it's 100% legal. It's 100% legal, but you can't speak out against chain migration and then sponsor your wife's parents to come to the country in chain migration. It's pure hypocrisy.
Well, yeah, that's so true.
And then you run on building walls.
Yeah. But not between us and Norway. You notice that. It's not between, like, no one ever came good from Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, or Central America.
Come in.
Someone's at the door.
Come in.
I better be Drew Illa or I'm gonna be hot.
Speaking of immigrants.
All right, I gotta get the door for him. He's too scared to walk in.
Yeah, get your immigrant ass in here.
Drew, come on.
He's too afraid. Hold on, I'll get the door.
Is it locked?
No, I don't think so. Wait, Drew, is it locked? Oh, it is locked.
We locked it.
Now who's building walls, Gio? Huh? I wonder. Yeah.
I want to keep the immigrants out.
You locking out these immigrants.
Talking about immigration.
That's talking about immigration.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much.
Yeah. Come talk about immigration.
From an immigrant family, right?
Yeah.
So
I hope you brought your green card.
I was
Terry,
born
he's
here.
American.
Yeah, I know. That's the joke.
I hope I brought my green card. This is where we start the goddamn
Yeah,
podcast.
this is what you get for being late. You know? That's
true. If I had a haircut like that, I wouldn't need a green card either, nigga.
That's right.
Oh, he had to get on your haircut.
That's right.
Gorilla was gonna be fun. He's a comedian for sure.
Oh, I know.
So what we were talking about is, like, I just said that, you know, people, they don't care if immigration is legal or not. They just don't like immigrants. They don't like them because they're all freaking out about Joe Biden bringing over immigrants. Joe Biden's going to make legal immigration easier.
True. Maybe.
So,
Well, no, he's making asylum. Let's be clear about this. He's making asylum easier. You know, asylum, you have to.
It's different. I will.
Yeah, you have to be able to prove that you're running for your life, based on politics or based on violence or based on the country you're coming from or your nationality or.
And that incorporates a lot of, like, Central Americans. No?
Okay, let me say one thing. I was under the impression, a lot of white people told me that Obama sort of held back people from being in the U.S. more than anybody else did. That's what I hear.
Not really.
Is that the thing is, my sources are white people who hate Obama. So
Yeah. Well, that's a bad source.
Is it true? Is it not?
I'm trying to recall on my knowledge, and I think there was something that Obama did with the immigrants that was a little bit tougher, and I think it was just because of. When they say that Obama built the cages, that's true. Obama built the detention centers, but Trump filled them. Kids, though.
Yes, but Trump filled them. That's the difference. Obama didn't fill them. He built them. Trump filled them. That's the reality of the situation. And neither one of them was right for doing it. But they were just both trying to solve problems. But let's face facts. The Republicans are the more cruel party. They just are. They have the cruelty.
I want to know what.
I agree with that.
I want to know what you think. Like, who's to blame for them not caring about immigration, whether it's legal or illegal? You know.
I think immigration is sort of a media tool, so it's only interesting when it's interesting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's more like we don't care because, you know, it's when somebody says it, it's just a politician trying to get elected. Nobody talks about it if they're not trying to get elected. Same thing with abortion.
The thing about immigration, that's an interesting point because we were saying it started with economics. They're like, oh, beware of the immigrant taking your job, right?
Mm-hmm.
That used to be the black man. But now they've incorporated all xenophobia in it, and what?
Well, I was saying it's like Dave Chappelle said. It's like, oh, they're going to take your jobs. You act like people want to pick their own strawberries. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like they're not taking your job. Ain't no CEOs that came over across the border. Relax.
I've never
from
met
Germany, from Mercedes-Benz. But listen,
I've never met a CEO with migrant farmer in his resume.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly my point.
Obama increased the deportations. That's what he increased. deportations. It's not that he just deported people who weren't here legally.
All right. Is that
so those racist white people that were bringing it up probably should be appreciative.
By the way, the people that are mentioning this right now, and I know what they're talking about, that Obama increased deportations. No, they're missing a word, one word, which is criminal. Obama increased more criminal deportations.
Oh, okay.
If they had criminal records, he deported them rather than jailing them. That was it.
Thank you for clarifying that. And
I'm just saying, I know that story.
On this whole, they're rapists and whatever else.
No, it just gets diluted because remember, we live in the age of memes and Facebook and shit. So all you have to do is pick out a certain word or a certain thing, and you can change the context of the whole message. He was basically saying, no, if you came here and you committed crimes, get the fuck out, which I'm fine with, to be honest.
No, that's
if you're going to come here and
go talk.
But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well,
I'm with that.
I want to move on to conspiracy theories. I thought that'd be fun for you.
I don't believe in any of them. Yeah, I know I'm black, but I'm not that black.
So are you getting a COVID shot?
Am I getting a COVID shot? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't give a goddamn.
Right.
She expected that to see me some so like, I don't believe in that, yo.
Yeah, way to go, Drew. Way to go.
I thought this was young Chris Priester. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Yeah, no. So you're not worried about being part of the next. You're not worried, Drew, about being part of the next Tuskegee experiments. You're not worried.
Not even kind of. Well, I don't know what the fuck Tuskegee experiments are, nigga. That's how much I don't care.
Google it, people. Okay, just Google it.
So, conspiracy theories. This is the latest one that's caught my attention. I just don't know if John Wilkes Booth was really captured. Who's to blame?
Nazi Germany.
Because let me fill everyone in on it.
All right.
Okay. John Wilkes Booth was a prominent stage actor in his day. Think about that, an actor. The Civil War was coming to an end when Booth shot President Lincoln in Ford Theater. I've been there. I saw the pillow that Lincoln bled on. Booth was a Confederate sympathizer, and he was fed up with Union soldiers. And they finally caught up with him in a Virginia farm where they allegedly shot and killed him April 26, 1865. There are few, including Booth's distant relatives, who believe he did not die, but rather lived for many more years under an alias. In one account, he stole the identity of an Englishman named John B. Wilkes and lived in India. In another, he was John St. Helen, who tended a bar in Texas. And this is where it gets interesting. They wanted to exhume his body, but his family wouldn't let him, to do an autopsy to see if it was really him, to compare it to his relatives. And the one, what are you laughing about? Okay.
Stephen Thomas said he was abducted by aliens. That's what happened.
Okay. The only photograph that was taken of his body has disappeared.
Yeah.
All right. So this is all working. Like, why am I believing this? Why am I okay?
Because it's salacious. It's exciting that you want to believe.
I just don't know about the record keeping in 1865.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why why are you believing any of it?
National Treasure was a hit at the box office because it's exciting. We all want to believe that. It's the same people who think that Hitler never died and he moved to Argentina.
They want to make your life a little more interesting. Sadly, life isn't that interesting. John Wilkes.
It just really isn't. Sadly, life is you shoot a president and you get shot in a barn they bury you in a shallow grave. That's it.
No, but it took them 2 weeks to catch him. It's not like they just caught him.
I mean,
let me just say this.
Yeah, they didn't have cell phones.
What was the clue?
They'll just fucking lie to us. They'll lie to us and be like,
but the thing is, they didn't lie to us. You saying they lied to them because has nothing to do.
The lies have gone down history. So they just lied to Americans saying we caught him, so we feel good about ourselves.
I don't think
Which
so.
seems like it would be right. That's why it's believable, because it seems like that would be correct.
I got a
But
question.
do you know what it takes to get on a boat to India? It takes a lot.
I got a question to pose. Who got away from America? Like, give me one person that got away doing something incredible, like hitting the president with a bullet. Give me one person who got away. People don't get away from that.
No.
Not now, but this was
even then. Give me one person who hurt a president who wasn't.
They didn't catch him.
They had Lee Harvey Oswald the same day. They caught him the day.
Do we know that he did it? Do we need to go on to that conspiracy? Like, who knows if Lee Harvey Oswald actually killed JFK?
I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland. I keep going out this goddamn.
I know, we're going right down the rabbit hole.
I'm talking about Lee Harvey. Who was the man on the hill?
Yeah. I saw somebody on a grassy knoll. I know that.
That was one of those grassy knoll. I'm hungover. My references all messed up.
Y'all act like the government don't be lying to us. Speaking of the
it definitely
experiments.
Yeah, what is that?
It definitely does.
The airmen, they gave them gonorrhea or some STD.
They gave them syphilis. To study. Yeah, they gave them syphilis, telling them it was a vaccine, basically an inoculation. But they gave it to them so they could study the results. But that isn't the only one. MK Ultra was another conspiracy that came out where the CIA was dosing their own employees without their knowledge with LSD to try and develop mind control. Like, some conspiracies are true.
I do.
Wait. They affected Black women's reproductive rights. So, like, the government will not rights, reproductive ability. The government will fucking lie.
I think they will lie, but I don't think they'll lie about killing a guy who killed the president.
They will. They'll be like, "Oh, we're great. We're America."
But you saying that means he got away. I don't think he got
away. Not back then. Things were different back then. They just were. It took them 2 weeks to catch him because they didn't have cell phones or cars. They literally had to chase this dude down with horses.
They had to follow his horse's hoofs to his home.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
had like Indian chiefs looking for broken twigs. You know,
they used mediums back then. They help.
They had divining rods. They were trying to find this dude.
That story was fun. Okay,
we got more. How did they find John?
Okay, now we're moving on from John.
All right, fine. She got fucking buried.
I'm glad that we had time for that one, but we didn't have time for the real estate market, which is way more important right now. But sure, whatever.
Wait, we didn't have time for what?
The real estate market, which is way more important.
Nobody want to talk about no goddamn real estate. You want to talk about the real estate market?
No, it's a follow-up story. But on top of that, Terry, I couldn't read the story because I don't have access to New York Times. I've already read my 5 stories. Okay?
It was the Wall Street Journal. You're close. It was the Wall Street Journal, which they're a lot more money hungry, so they don't even let you read the whole article if you don't.
I'll read it next month, and we'll get it on next month.
I get my news from hip hop forums. I don't.
This sounds like a story.
Y'all know McMillan 6ix9ine has some beef going on. I guess we're not gonna talk about it.
I get all my news from Snapchat. That's the only thing I use.
We should have talked about that goddamn diamond in the forehead with Drew, but we did that with Anna last week. So.
Yeah.
But this is a fun, salacious story. Speaking of salacious, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the QAnon queen, in Congress right now, who was removed from all her committees for being a nutbag. She has been busted having not one but 2 affairs. One with a tantric sex something or another, who is not even, he's a liberal, clearly, because he's tantric. Anyway, to be a Republican, you just have to pretend to be wholesome, monogamous, and have family values. Who's to blame? Because they all like welcome them back in after they do all whatever their dirt is.
It's the repression. It's that repression. I grew up in a church. Like, I grew up as a conservative. I was a conservative for, like I said, 11 years before I kind of woke up a little bit and kind of see the world a different way. But yeah, it's that repression. It's that repression that says you got to be a certain way. You got to be this. You got to be that. You always got to project a certain point of view. Always, no matter how you're feeling inside, no matter what's going on in your life, you always got to be perfect on the outside. That's why every one of these scandals you hear about, with some anti-gay pastor comes out getting caught in a hotel room with a gay hooker and meth, or or a conservative getting caught at the airport trying to get glory hole head. It's always a Republican. It's because of that repression. They don't allow them to be who they are, and eventually the volcano will explode every time. It's always going to explode.
I think the volcano already exploded because who's to blame is Middle America. You're trying to appease Middle America, but motherfucker, you're from New York. You're already a dirtbag. You're just pretending not to be a dirtbag because now you're a politician. Basically, I feel like Republicans have to be more political than any other party. Well, there's only one really party, but they have to like really pretend hard because who they're appeasing is people in middle America, rural motherfuckers in small towns who don't even know what a strip club is.
But that's just the thing. Those middle Americans are also doing the same thing. They're pretending to be monogamous, to have family values. But we all know, maybe y'all don't, but I know that the red states is where the most gay porn's watched. So they're fucking pretending. And they need to stop and let people live their lives. And if you want to be conservative, economically, it's stupid, but do it.
I think humans are humans, and it's just if you grow up in that sort of environment where it's like things haven't really moved forward much in a long time, you're kind of just gonna be that way.
No, you're right.
You're still under the idea of
I'm telling you, it's that repression. You repress all that stuff, and it's gonna blow up.
She got a standing ovation from her colleagues that week, even though she got kicked off all the committees, but because she fought so hard for President Trump.
Right.
I meant Trump. I didn't mean President Trump. Sorry.
President Trump. Say it again. It makes you feel better.
But also, I think President like Trump. This is just the new face of Congress with these fucking younger generations coming in. Like, this is not the first scandal. Like, wasn't somebody else part of a throuple? Like, this is just it's actually progressiveness. It's progression. Even the conservatives are fucking having these.
Look at King. King was allowed to maintain office, even though he said outright that yes, he believes in a lot of white supremacist tenets. But he was allowed to stay in office. Like you shouldn't be allowed to say that publicly and admit it, and then still keep your position. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
If you are pro-life.
Yeah. Well, then you're on board. But that's the problem. That's what happened. That's what Reagan did. Reagan switched. Before the Reagan administration, evangelicals and Christians, they used to swing both ways, just whatever. A lot of Christians back then voted for Jimmy Carter, who was a Democrat before Reagan. But once Reagan, I think Jimmy Carter proved himself after his presidency because he left with dignity and he still worked with Habitat for Humanity and still does to this day, even though he's decrepit and old. He still works.
COVID, he can't. He's a national treasure.
It's not the point. The point is, they basically said, if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, then you need to be voting Republican because we're the moral majority. We're the ones that are saying abortion is wrong. We're the ones that are saying homosexuality is wrong. And they corrupted their minds. And it's been that way for literally almost 40 years. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how far it's come.
I think another part of the problem, guys, is when you are climbing that social ladder and you pick that side, you kind of got to play by their rules. You got to.
You're a politician. That's
act like, oh, this is my husband and my two kids, and we go to church, and you're having sex with some tantric.
I think politicians just to that standard because
let me interrupt you real quick.
A guy like Trump, who's just he didn't do the small.
But he.
Let me answer this question. We got a question.
She's a woman that we're more bothered by that.
No,
we got a question here from Stephen Thomas, who says, "Who's still trying to impeach a former president?" Well, let me tell you, Stephen. If you quit your job or you get fired and you shoot somebody on the way out the door, guess what? You still get arrested. Okay, just because you're leaving doesn't mean you don't have consequences to your actions. That's all I wanted to answer.
Former president.
I don't even care. Put him in jail. Mitch McConnell agrees with that. Fuck.
You're not gonna put him in jail. That man.
No, put him in jail.
Well, Mitch McConnell is a
scumbag. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like
Mitch McConnell is a scumbag, but he hasn't done anything worthy of being arrested for.
Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene's guy. I don't think we can share screen, but I'm showing Drew you want to just describe him for our guests? I want to hear how
he's a guy who wanted to be a bodybuilder but didn't work hard enough. We're talking what's that? What's that haircut called? I missed a T haircut. Mohawk. White man with a mohawk and a hipster beard. Again, wanted to be a bodybuilder. The diet wasn't what he was missing. There's just a whole lot of.
Don't
fluff.
forget this chest hair.
Oh, and I think that chest hair is shaved on like that on purpose. Is that
like
supposed
a
to be
shield?
A crown? Yeah, I think it's a shield. It's supposed to be a shield. I think he did that on purpose.
He looks like he's in the.
Well, I've seen that picture. I know what you're talking about, and
like the dominant type of male that would have sex with a fucking.
If anybody wants to see it, just Google the scandal and you'll see the picture of the guy. I think he looks like that one Russian dude from Street Fighter 2.
That
big dude? And he had the V-shaped hair on his chest.
I think that's maybe what he was going for. He might be.
I think so. I think he was trying to do the Street Fighter 2 thing.
His name's just Craig Ivey. He's just some
Craig Ivey. He's trying to go for a Russian look.
You sure it ain't Baraka or whatever?
He was probably an incel until he started working out.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He does look like a guy who, he gets strange coochie, like coochie that's not, that's just like her. She's on the spectrum.
He gets laid, but they never come back. They're like, I'm not doing that again. That was insane. You know what I mean? Like he gets it once, but he doesn't get the follow through. I'm
with that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about it for our headlines, guys. Let's welcome Drew Illa in the house, comedian.
Welcome me, people.
One of my favorites.
One of your favorites. Thank you. You don't act like it. I'll never see you watching, never see you laughing either.
I can't watch other comics. I just can't. I feel like I'm gonna osmosis.
How many comics have said that to me?
I can't.
But that's one thing. We'll get into that. Let's talk to Drew about some comic shit. Like, how long have you been a comic?
2018 September. I never say how long, because if I say how long, I'm apt to lie. I'll be like 6 years. I just say the date, and one day I'll be proud of the date. But for now, I just say September 2018, and I get to hear what you. What? Oh my God!
Well,
really?
You've been doing it a little longer than I have, but it seemed like you've been doing it decades longer than I have. But it's okay.
It's called being better.
Some people take it to like a duck to water.
Goddamn right.
So how did you get started? I want to know how you got started.
So I was a pussy, right? So I got into improv. And no offense to improv,
you took the
guys.
class?
I took the class.
Why?
What class did you take? No way.
No, I took improv, the art form. Not
No, I'm saying like, that doesn't make you. Hey. Let's just put it out there. That doesn't make you a pussy, all right? I tried improv, it just wasn't for me. But we've had Casey. We've had Casey on here before.
Casey was where Sick Puppies. That's where I went.
Yeah.
I know that we've had him on here before. That isn't a pussy thing. It's almost harder than stand up.
No, I was a pussy thing for me because I intended to do stand up. I was like, I want to do stand up, but I was like, I don't want to do it yet. Let me try something a little easier. Let me try something that I have partners. I'm not just on stage. So I think in my case, it was pussy. It's like, I want to learn to fight, and then you go do a keto.
So tell me more about your journey. Like after you did that.
Of course, he still has a day job. I'm sorry. Steve Thomas said, Drew, do you still have a day job?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
After you got started with improv, how did you transition into stand-up?
We did a showcase at Robot, and then somebody said, you should try stand-up here. And I didn't really know where any open mics were. So God and us did the mic, didn't kill, but felt like I killed. I was just like, that's it, I'm doing stand-up. And I kind of just lost all passion for the improv thing.
Yeah. So you just hit open mics after that.
True.
Okay. So you never took classes other than the improv.
No, ill.
Okay. No, ill. Everyone's journey.
Well, it's kind of like
taking a class to tell them how to speak to the.
No, it's not that. Sometimes it's just like for me, it was my improv. It was how I got started. It gave me the confidence to get into it. And with that, you are learning stand up, but you do your first show with the class, and that's like a big part of the battle is being like, oh, I'm funny enough to get in front, but you have to do it to graduate when you do the class. So that's
you gotta understand.
Why do you use the words graduate in comedy? No,
Gio, you gotta understand.
I'm being so judgmental. I think comedy
are
a waste of time.
Listen,
and he
Gio, you gotta understand, Gio. For certain people, taking a class to do this seems ludicrous. It seems ridiculous. Other people need that little boost to get up. And there's nothing wrong with either one of them. Whoever's path goes which way, like some of the people I came up
with you, Terry. Like I
guess I agree with
it's
you.
Just whatever your path.
Like comedians,
it's the peaceful way.
They're really good about explaining to you what you should or should. But that's what I think. Everybody's journey is different, and like even the classes that I've taken that I wasn't the biggest fan of, I felt like I took something away from that was very valuable.
Let me tell you why I would take a class. I would take a class if the owner of the class had a great venue that I wanted to get in. I would take a class like a sneaky snake. I'm just there to make friends with you, sir, so that I can be put on in your room.
Let's put it this way. I never took a class, and 4.5 years later, I ended up teaching a class. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's path is different, and none of them are better or worse than the other. You just have to pick whichever one feels right to you. That's it.
I agree. But I also think that if you picked what path is right to you, then you will believe that everybody's path is worse.
Right.
Yeah. Narcissism.
Yeah. You know what that is? That's just that. That's that tribalism. You know what I mean? Like we pick our tribe, and then we just stick with our tribe. It's like, are you a classer or are you a no classer? Which one are you?
Classer.
Yeah.
No classer, right here.
My guy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite venue to perform at?
Any venue that gives me as much time as I can take.
No, but
come on, no.
Oh, real? You really want me to favorite venue to perform at?
What's ever that you've been doing comedy since 2018?
Yeah, no improvs. That's not allowed. That's too easy.
I don't think he's been at the improv.
I've done the improv once. No, I'm lying.
You did the
I lie a lot. I lie all the time. Just I was like, you know why I said that? Because somebody recently asked me to do something improv. They're like, you did the improv before, right? I'm like, I looked them dead in the eye. I said, plenty of times. They said, oh, you got 20 minutes, right? I looked them in the eyes and said, 45 minutes is what I got.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
This is why we love him.
No blinking either. God bless her next show, because I'm on it.
So what is your favorite venue?
Favorite venue?
Far,
I guess Robot, just because I had all the friends and stuff and all that.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
because I cut my teeth in that place, and I love when people pick that because it was a great room. And RIP, to the Robot / Funky Buddha, that was such a good place that it cultivated such talent out of it. Like there are people on tour right now that came out of there, and there's a reason for it because it was collaborative and people supported each other, even though it was harsh and they went against each other sometimes to try to get better spots and whatnot. But it was always, we got your back kind of a feel to it, so RIP Robot / Buddha. It'll always be Funky Buddha to me forever. Yeah. Here, raise them high.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Funky Buddha, baby. That place was fun.
So, where have you traveled to? Like, what's your farthest venue you've traveled to perform?
Orlando. I did an open mic in Orlando. I don't really travel much.
Yeah.
If I'm not getting, I want to because I need to cultivate the relationships, but it's also like.
Where would you go?
Where would I go? I guess for now, Texas is really the only thing that's. I feel like I'm at a place where I finally feel like, all right, you got 20 minutes. So now it's like
we should do a road trip to Texas. Y'all know I'm from Texas, so we should do a road trip to Texas. We should go to Houston and Austin, and I got some places we can hit up. And I know. Like
well, once
oh,
everything opens back up and you can do things again, my suggestion to you would be Seattle and Vegas. Those rooms, I've done them before, and they are incredible. Everybody's so supportive. The audience is.
Say that Vegas is where comics go to die.
Yeah, they can say that all they want to, but that's not the truth.
No,
you know, no, the audience is. I was mainly going for Seattle. Seattle and Portland are two of the best venues.
I've never heard that. I've always heard Chicago, New York, LA, but right now this is a new world, and of course Austin's growing, and that's where I'm from. It's growing a scene, and then you've got
I couldn't get on in Austin. I went there, but I couldn't get on. There just wasn't any shows the 2 days I was there. Yeah. But Seattle and Portland were fantastic.
When I went to Austin.
But time out, are there black people in Seattle or Portland? Those are two places I just like. You say those places, and I'm just like,
the audiences are so receptive because it's such a liberal audience.
But are there how many black people did you see in Seattle or Portland?
Quite a few, actually. More than you would see. More than you would see in like the middle of the country. You know, because I've been all over the country. Like,
I mean, I'm just
saying, state I've probably been there.
Black person,
but it doesn't matter for your crowds. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm just talking about walking around and
no, I'm just saying, like, it's not like you cater to the black crowd, so I don't know why.
No, but it's not as wide as you think.
I'm not even talking about.
You need to just go be in front of people.
Of course.
So that's all.
But I would love.
We're not talking about where you going to take a vacation.
Yes, but I would love to do comedy somewhere where there's black and some black people over there.
Have you been to Georgia?
But it's.
Have I been?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not as white as you think it is. It's very eclectic. It's a very mixed bag. Now I'll say this. When you go outside those cities to Washington State, or or to Oregon State, like once you get out in the country, very much different, very white, very rural kind of a feel to it. But once you get in the cities, it's just like here. Less Haitians, but yeah, still, more, it's very eclectic regardless.
So what is your least favorite part about comedy?
Least favorite part?
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts.
Terry.
I agree with him. I can't help it. Like
every comedians think they're interested enough for a podcast. You are, because you fucking care about the world and shit. Terry is, because he also cares about the world. But goddamn, how many podcasts I've been on or had to refuse to just be like,
let me just say this.
You're not interesting.
I was doing podcasts before comedy.
I know. And I'm not, nobody's talking
Comedians.
about you. I already said I wasn't talking about you. Why does this always have to be about you? Why? Because it's your podcast. It's your podcast.
No, he's right. There's way too many. There's way too many, and the field's way too long.
So many.
It just is what it is. You can't even. But it's great. Like,
what's your least favorite part? No, what's your least favorite part about stand-up?
Okay, that's a better question.
Jesus.
Stand up. When I'm not on stage. Just listen to other people do what I want to be. Give me your time. Let me be on the stage. That's it. I don't really, the whole relationship things, a lot of people say that, well, everybody relationships. I'm like, bro, I'm not on Facebook. So the relationships are face to face. So all of them are great. I don't interact with comedians online. So it's like in my face, every comedian's nice because that's what you do in someone's face. Online, I don't even pay attention to you because that's where your personality is.
I might end up hating you.
And I just don't want to meet you like that. We're coworkers, nothing more.
Yeah.
You're
absolutely right.
I feel like a little 100%. Triggered and I should defend myself. And I've always had this online persona. So that's why. But
again, this is what you're about. Like, this is where you came from. This is your base. This is your foundation. No doubt. You have people on live and they're like commenting and stuff. That's real.
But when you're on stage, you're absolutely right, Drew. When you're on stage, that's when you're really bearing your soul. You're coming out and you're saying, this is who I am. You're not guarded like you are on social media, because when when we post on social media, we always think like, is this going to get me in trouble? Is this going to get me banned or canceled or this or that?
In your mind.
So we always take it.
I gotta say,
that's not the real you.
Like I'm on that filter because I've been on it. So
well, yeah,
and I know like
you talk like that.
I've learned. So,
yeah. Hey, I got banned too. The same reason. All I said was fucking Canadians. That's it, and that got me banned for a week.
No, have you ever had your whole entity kicked off and not like let back on? That happened to me. Like I had a whole slew of Blame Girl fans, and they're not on this new Blame Girl because they probably like, oh, she got kicked off. You know, some of them are on Instagram, but anyway. So, nonetheless, I want to play the blame game. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
I got one for him too.
Oh, we going like you didn't tell me like.
I cut mine. I cut my white people words. I'm cutting that down.
All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me?
No, you go first. Ladies first, always.
And what's funny is I think I do know this. I was thinking about this after, like just right now when you came in. I was like, is that his last name? But Drew, I don't think anyone knows your last name.
Oh, there's a reason for that.
Who's to blame?
Who's to blame? Comics who didn't respect me naming myself Drew Illa. I would say I'm Drew Illa, and people would be like, the comics would introduce me as Drew Vilmy because that's what they saw on Facebook. I'm like, that's not the name that I go by. And they're like, well, it's a better name than Drew Illa. So I deleted Vilmy from every social platform. So now everybody knows me as Drew Illa.
Right.
Vilmy doesn't exist.
Is that your real last name?
What, Illa?
Vilmy.
Vilmy, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
You know, I'm going to say that I'm just going to admit it right now. I'm going to throw my hands up. I thought your name was Drew Illa too. Like, I didn't know there was another.
Yeah,
like,
because I had to, because everybody would be like, no, Drew Vilmy's a better name. And I'm like, yo, you just don't want to say Illa because you can't pronounce it.
Do you know Terry's last name?
Yeah, Terry Wayne.
Only his friends know his last name.
No, that ain't my last name.
There
Actually, Terry Wayne, I'm not going to say the real one because I try to keep these worlds separate. But no, Terry and Wayne are my first and middle name.
Nice.
My last name I keep to myself. But if you search hard enough, you can find it. You know.
What?
I tried that shit. I like when I started this, I went by Blame Girl. Like Blame Girl says, Blame Girl this and that. But you know, then Facebook got stricter, and also as my brand grew, I interacted with other like radio personalities, and they were like, "You need to let people know who you are." So I did, and now I'm just a name, but I want the worlds to like. I want to keep Blame Girl intertwined with me as a comic.
Right.
Isn't Blame Girl you as a comic?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, did you ever think of just being Blame Girl on stage? Just Blame Girl?
Well, it's not even that. It's like Cedric the Entertainer is still Cedric, but I'm pretty sure his last name ain't the Entertainer. You know what I mean? Like,
so
sometimes you just try to keep those worlds separate, you know, just so they'll be okay. But
all right,
anyway,
what's your
my blame? Okay, Drew, out of all the comics I've known in the last 10 years, you're probably one of the most positive. Like every time I'm around you, you just got this good aura, you got a positive vibe, you know, you're always styling. No, you're always styling, you're always confident, you know, you're always smiling. Like, who's to blame for this positive attitude of yours?
So I was super into like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and fighting before. And it kind of like, I used to put a lot of my worth into that. And, you know, I felt good, but it was always like, oh, but I have, you know, basically there was a saying back, they would say, when the tough get going, Drew gets to stalling. I had no will. I'm too funny. You know what I mean? I'm always that guy who's like, whatever, like I lost, but I'm still the funniest motherfucker in the room. So it's like, once I left that, I kind of, like that worth is still there. But it's exemplified now because nobody is into that. So it's like, okay, I'm the toughest guy in the room, which I've always wanted to be. On top of that, I'm funny around other funny people. So it's super easy to be positive. Now, if you put me back in the room with a bunch of killers, you would see a whole different side. You'd be like, oh, I get it. Okay. There's the, you know what I mean? I'm the guy who's just like.
So basically you're saying you got your aggression out in that, and now that's all that's left is the positive, because you took out all that aggression.
Well, I would say I wouldn't even say the aggression, but I would say like the negative side of Drew lies more in that world.
Well, not only that, I mean, we're men. There's a certain
that's something that would like mess with my like if you were to scream at me like I'm funnier than you, I'll always be funnier than you. I'll be like, whatever. You know what I mean? But if you were to scream at me, I'll whoop your ass. I'm like, all right then. Now we talking.
I think it's
like you get where I'm coming from.
I think
I get what you're saying, because we're men, and they're on a biological level, we have a certain amount of aggression. Like we can't deny that. It's built into our DNA. We can't.
I just want to say, it's funny you brought that up and you said that, because one of my favorite moments of Drew Illa was the time he did a positive roast.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He roasted everybody, but in nice ways, and it was funny. It was crazy. Yeah. I was like, "Whoa!" And that was so nice. So
the jokes were pre-written, though. Adam saved them.
Yeah, I've seen that go the wrong way, though.
He touched.
It's impressive. It's impressive that you were able to make it work.
Yeah.
Because I've seen other comics, people that all three of us know, try to do the I'm gonna be positive thing on a roast, because you guys are too new, but I used to host the roast battles at Buddha, and I've seen it go badly to where you try to do the Eminem thing, where you try to either roast yourself to take all the wind out of their sails, or you try to roast them and make them positive, and that makes you the victor. But it goes so badly, so quickly. So just the fact that you can do it and make it successful was impressive.
This is the thing. So all the jokes were, I used to write compliments for girls, things that I would just say. Right. So they were all tested and proven. You know what I mean? They're like, just old jokes. So like, you heard me say some of them. I told them to turn the lights down. Yeah, I'm a douchebag. I told them to turn the lights down in this room, but I realized it was your individual. No, what was it? It's your individual skincare routines. That's what I say to the crowd. But I used to say, I told them to turn the lights down in this room, but I realized it's your skincare routine. And your eyes flawless, like a basketball wife's wedding ring, or your smile is so bright white. It's like 32 white supremacists in your mouth. Shit like that. Like they get together in their spare time to hang stains from the molars. Just like. So I just took those jokes and just pasted the fucking comedian's name on it. Basically, it was a positive roast, but it was also a copy and paste job.
Right.
To be completely honest.
Good to know.
Okay, well that's. But if you want to,
it was for my hoes back in the day.
You could have just taken the compliment and just left it at that.
Well,
I took the jokes I used on my old hoes and used them on my new hoes.
All right, we're gonna give it over to Terry Wayne for his words with white people. We're holding our producer up.
Okay. It's gonna be real simple this week, guys. It's just about tending your garden. That's what this week is about, because I've been through some stuff for the last couple months, and things have gotten tense for me. A lot of work stress, a lot of this, a lot of that. And things have gotten raw. And then I sat back and I had a moment to realize, like, things have gotten raw for a lot of people. Every Monday morning, I wake up pretty early. So, I'll sit out here and I'll watch these people line up for the food bank. I can watch them at the mall across the street from my house. And they're lining up, hundreds of people lining up in their cars at 5:30, 6 in the morning to wait for hours. And they'll just sit there and sleep in their cars and wait for hours to just get a simple amount of food for the week. And then they'll be right back there again the next Monday. And this last year has been really hard on all of us. So I just want to take this time. I'm not chastising anybody this week. I'm not doing an editorial. I'm not saying anything about anything in particular. I'm just telling you all, it's okay to take it easy on yourself sometimes. You don't have to be so hard on yourself all the time. It's okay. You're an absolute legend, I'm sure, at whatever it is you're good at. But it's okay to give yourself a break. It's okay. It's been tough. It's fine. We get it. We all get it. I get it. You get it. Take a deep breath. Tend your garden. Sit under your own vine for just a moment, and take some peace. Know that life is bigger than the challenges that we've been facing, and things will get better. We just got to give them some time and be patient. And I know that in this day and age, when everything comes to us instantaneously and we expect everything to be done in a moment's notice, it's okay to take a breath and just tend your garden. Be patient. Things will get better. You just have to take a breath and wait. It will get better. You'll get better. You'll get right back to the badass motherfucker you used to be. You just have to wait and be patient. Take a beat. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're an absolute legend. I love you guys all.
But I feel like, you keep saying tend your garden, and now all I was thinking about was how I need laser hair removal.
Okay, that's the opposite of what I was saying. Like, you're being hard on yourself again. Like, stop being hard on yourself. Just take it easy. You're good the way you are. You're going against me. You're good the way you are.
Everything you say is something that I do every minute of my life. I am never hard on myself.
You just gave him permission to be Drew.
I'm like, yo, the things he's saying, I'm like, this is true. No, I keep a mirror in my back pocket and just.
But there's a lot of people out here that don't do that.
That's tough, and that's.
Well, I know. I'm the same way. I'm extremely hard on myself all the time. I always feel like I'm gonna let somebody down, or I'm gonna fuck up.
I am hard on myself about. It's what you said. Like, there's a lot of people.
The laser hair removal?
No, not that. That's disgusting. when you said there's other people out here really, being hard on themselves, right? Mm-hmm. My selfishness does not allow me to care about those other people. So it's hard. Like, that's something I'm hard on myself about. I'm like, you should remember that this person might be hard on themselves. But then it's just like I get out and then it comes back to me anyway, because I'm like, you should, man. That's the problem with you. You don't care about other people. I mean, why should you care about them? And then it just kind of like, it's a circular.
Yeah, but you know what that is, Drew? You know what that is? That's guilt. You're being hard on yourself because you're saying you've got it good, other people have it worse, and then you're taking that guilt and you're putting it back on yourself. Again, that's you being hard on yourself.
Yes.
You're saying, like, you should be more appreciative of what you've been given.
I should be more
grateful.
Empathetic. No. Right. Grateful would mean that I'm grateful to somebody else. No, everything.
He thinks he should be more apathetic.
Yeah. No. I appreciate the
Let me just say this. If it helps protect your mental health, then do it. Because
that's what it is.
Sometimes when you care about people, you should care about people.
You just said I shouldn't.
You should care about other people.
I'm not saying
don't get it twisted.
Empathy and just embrace sociopathy.
Listen,
I'm just saying that
I feel like I should just run out the house now because you told me everything I wanted to hear my whole life. I want to go now. The podcast's over. See ya.
I'm just saying.
He got what he came for.
Yeah, I'm like, finally, I'm gonna go outside. I'm a Christian Bale from homeless people.
Okay, let me get off so I can have a private talk with you. Oh my God, no, I was.
No, love yourself. Love yourself. That's the end of it. Is like, love yourself. Learn how to take it easy on yourself. You're not Superman. You're not Atlas. You can't carry the world. Just just take it easy and know that you're human and try to do your best. That's it.
I like that. Yeah. All right.
Who are these words? These are words for white people?
I think these were
these were the words for everybody right now. Okay, it's not even for white people.
At the end of the show, called "Words for White People," usually white explaining the white people, and I can't do it. So
little bit, but
somebody needs to.
Yeah, that's
right now. But that's the great thing about it is right now. We've been unified over this pandemic, and we've been unified over this insurrection, all this shit that's going on. We're not fighting with each other anymore. We're fighting a bigger enemy. So let's try to remember that. And mental, like you said, mental illness, anxiety, depression, all this shit, it comes with it. So we're fighting bigger enemies right now. So right now we just need to, we need to stand together.
Fight that.
All right. Well, guys, you know what? Thank you for tuning in this week. Thank our guest, Drew Illa.
Thank me. If you can find a way to thank me.
Okay, I take that back. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Shandy.
Oh yeah, thanks for helping out, Shandy. Come back in. Come back in the frame.
Anytime, guys.
No, you were helping out. You did good.
Just as late I'm in because I'm always here.
No, you did a good job. Thanks for the help.
Oh, you guys with the knee-high stuff. What is
they're always...
But listen, you guys with the knee-high stuff, but she immediately shows it off without hesitation.
I know. I've seen it thigh now. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh my God, the thigh-high socks got everyone.
And they were like,
So you guys and the knee-high, I guess
something about it
works. It's
something about it.
Hey,
something knee-high.
Let's put it this way: if it wasn't sexy, you wouldn't wear it. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't sexy, you wouldn't wear it.
I wear it because I like it.
Don't let them shame you, girl.
Oh my
Don't
God.
let them.
I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming.
I like it.
Not on my show. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good week. We will see you next week.
Because she likes it.
Thanks to Drew Illa for coming out.
Love y'all.
You're such a cocky Haitian.